Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
Good morning, and welcome once again to another Power Pack session right here on the Midweek Motivation on brandlive.co.za. My name is Keenan Paulson. I'm an author, speaker, and motivational coach. My purpose is to inspire and encourage people to do, be, and have all that they desire to be. And this is the Midweek Motivation, the show where we inspire you, we encourage you, we literally light that fire right underneath you and say, you can do everything you desire to do. It's possible not only for a select few, it's possible for everyone who's willing to put in the work, who's willing to put in the time, and who's willing to dream another dream. Maybe that's you. Today in studio, we'll be speaking about high performance principles. And here's the thing about principles. If you implement the principle, you will get the result. It's a law. The law of gravity works here in South Africa. It works in China. It works in Australia. If you're in the middle of the ocean, the law of gravity works for you. And so too with success principles. If you implement desire, if you implement discipline, work ethic, rest and recovery, those are some of the principles that we'll be speaking about today. If you implement them and if you do them on a consistent basis, you will get a result. It's not for a select few, it's for everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, in studio today, I have 2016 Olympian and 200-meter specialist. She is such an inspiration to me. I literally follow her on Instagram and I watch all your training stories, all your videos. You're a busy woman. You're doing big things. It's so good to have you here on the show. Help me welcome Alyssa AC Speedstar Conley.
Thank you for having me. It's really good to be here.
Awesome, Alyssa. Wonderful. So, for some of our viewers, maybe or some of our listeners, and welcome to those of you who are joining us on Facebook and Instagram Live. You guys are welcome to send through some questions or comments. We'll make a space for you throughout the show. But Alyssa, why don't you tell us exactly who you are and where you come from? I know you and I went to the wonderful Mondio High School together, and that's where we first met.
Yeah.
But just put us in the picture, where you come from and what you do. What's your story been like?
So I run for a living. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I come from an area called Riverlea.
Yes.
That's where I grew up. Born and bred in Middle though. But yeah, I grew up in Riverlea, in the streets of Riverlea. I attended church there. My first primary school was Wilhelmina Hoskins in Extension. Wow. That's where I actually discovered my talent, and I ran,
Yes.
As colored kiddies there, we were forced to run and do all the sports and stuff. So I ran, and we ran on gravel stone.
Yes.
And
barefoot
on gravel stone. That's my story. And everybody was so surprised. Yo, she's quick.
Yes.
The teachers started calling me Zolabad, and
yes.
I guess my dad was a teacher there.
All right.
So I guess they were like, wow, okay, our kid's got talent.
So your talent was literally discovered at a grassroots level, excuse the pun.
Yeah, I know.
And I want to speak about desire and where this desire came from to be an Olympian, because in my mind, you don't achieve great feats like that without desire. In fact, Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich says the achievement or acquisition of any goal starts with desire.
Yeah.
So where did your desire to run start?
So yeah, back in the day when I was just doing it as a kid, I just had the desire not to lose.
Right.
So I would just get on the track, and anything I did, I would do it to the best of my ability, and I'd do it to win. Doesn't matter what it was, athletics, playing a game, whatever it was. I hated losing. Everybody who knows me knows that.
Yes.
So I'd always do my best to win. But then, I started watching athletics, and I watched Marion Jones when she was competing in her first Olympic Games, and I was like, Jesus, woman is fire. Yes. And she just won like 6 gold medals in every event, and I was like, wow,
right.
I want to be like her.
Wow.
I just loved the way she ran. I loved her, her fire, and the fact that she would do every single event and she would win it. She was dominating, and I was like, that is me. I want to do that. And from there, I just had this desire to be an Olympian and the best sprinter in South Africa, and that is what I went for. Yeah,
absolutely. I love what you're saying, because you're saying your exposure to Marion Jones and what she was able to achieve almost sparked the idea that it's possible for you.
Yeah.
And so there must have been a cultivation of this desire within your heart. I know in my time as a pro golfer, even when I was just desiring to play the sport professionally, I had Tiger Woods pictures up everywhere. He was on my school books, he was in my homework diary, he was up on my wall, he was my screensaver on the laptop. It was everywhere. This idea that it is possible to achieve your dreams. How did you cultivate your desire?
No, definitely. I know my uncles and everyone would collect Marion Jones posters for me.
Yes.
I had this huge Marion Jones poster up above my bed, and I collected everything about Marion Jones. Like, I would watch her. I wouldn't miss a race that she ran. I'd research. I'd Google. I'd watch her training videos, and I read a story as well, and everybody would say to me, no, but she was doping, she was caught doping and all of that. But if you actually read the story of Marion Jones, she was the fastest sprinter in the USA when she was age 14.
My goodness.
So at age 14, she was not taking drugs, but she was really the fastest. I mean, yes, unfortunately,
She had this natural talent.
life's pressures catch up to you and you start doing silly things, which she did, and obviously she regretted, but she was an amazing sprinter. And I think I was just trying to imitate, what she was doing and stuff. But then I discovered myself, and I discovered what I want as Alyssa. And I just started working on that and started working towards my goals.
Beautiful. I love what you're saying, because it segues beautifully into what I like to talk about with desire. Desire is not wishful thinking. Desire is not some pie in the sky dream that just stays a dream. Your desire is measured by the level of action that you're willing to put into attaining your goal. How did you must have had many desires throughout your life. How did you decide that this is the one thing I'm pursuing no matter what?
I think it's how I felt when racing. I did a lot of sport, played a lot of sport, still enjoy a lot of sport. But it was just a surreal feeling being on the track after putting in so much work and just achieving that victory. It's indescribable. And I think just the fact that
your face lights up as you're speaking about it right now. I can literally see the passion on your face when you're speaking about running.
And I think it's you've got a huge team behind you that's working on you, but it's all on you in that moment. You have to take everything that you put in, take everything that your team has put into you and your support system has put into you, and you just go and display it on the track.
Beautiful.
So I think that feeling, nothing beats it for me, and that is why I have the passion for athletics and decided to pursue that. I
love it. We're gonna be speaking more about some success principles. Alyssa's touched on a number of them, but after the break we're gonna get into maybe some of your work ethic, maybe some of the discipline that's happening. I know that you also experienced a time of injury, so I'd like to get into extracting the motivation out of that, because you may be listening today and you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not a sprinter. I'm a sales consultant, or I'm a lawyer, or I'm a doctor, or I'm a whoever you are, I'm a teacher, whatever you may be doing. There are success principles that we're going to extract from Alyssa's story, and we are going to motivate you to say yes, you can, right after the break. You're listening to brandlive.co.za.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station. No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Brandlive.co.za is thought leadership radio. It's a new way to communicate your brand, your value, and what we think about your industry. Be a leader, be a voice, and we will help you shape your industry. Our radio platform is for thought leaders who want to share insights, businesses who want to create value for their databases, organizations who want to control their message, for those that drive change. Make your brand come alive on brandlife.co.za, harnessing the power of talk radio.
brandlive.co.za. You're listening to brandlive.co.za, an industry first in the world of internet radio. Not only are we an internet radio station, we are an internet radio platform for your brand. So why not expose your brand to potentially thousands of listeners and improve your customer relationships and brand equity with podcasts and live broadcasts? Be sure to check brandlive.co.za for more information. brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of internet radio.
Back to brandlive.co.za. This is the Midweek Motivation here with me, Keenan Paulson, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. We have Alyssa AC Speedstar Conley. I don't know, is that okay that I put your name in the middle?
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Is that all right?
Just for you.
I have
I'll
to
allow
get it right because I just call you Speedstar and you're like, no, it's AC Speedstar. And so if people want to follow you on Instagram, Facebook, how do they find you?
At AC Speedstar
Okay.
or Alyssa Conley on every platform.
There we go, at AC Speedstar on Instagram. Beautiful. So we're talking about success principles or high performance principles, and I'd like to speak about discipline. What's your definition of discipline? And I know it's not just like a stick that people hit you with to correct you.
I wish it was
You
that
know,
simple.
it's not that simple, right?
Sure. That's deep.
Okay.
My definition of discipline is firstly to realize what you want to achieve, realize what it takes to achieve, and then commit to it.
Okay.
I think the underlining factor of discipline is commitment.
Yes.
Because we all know what it takes to get there, right?
Absolutely.
But if you're not going to commit to doing the actions
Yes.
that it takes to reach your target and get results,
Yeah.
then it's not going to happen.
The element I love about discipline is that whether you feel like it or whether you don't feel like it, you know what needs to be done and you do it.
Yeah, gotta commit.
And so many people find it difficult. I mean, in my one-on-one coaching, people are constantly asking me, how do I stay disciplined? How do I maintain this discipline? How did you do it?
Lot of dependency on my support system, I must say. Like, I think I've got the greatest support system and they keep me on track a lot of the time. I mean, as an athlete, you eventually, you grow tired as
Yes.
well. It's
Yes.
only normal, you're human.
Yes.
So you grow tired of waking up and doing the same thing and, working hard every day and hurting your body every day, because that's what you do.
Yes.
Like, you always have to be out of your comfort zone. So every day you work harder and harder and harder, and every day you soar. The next day you just got to wake up and do it again. So I think for me, my support system, I rely on them a lot. And just the fact that I know what I want to achieve. And a lot of people think that I want to achieve gold medals and, big houses and stuff, which is cool. But my main purpose in life is to inspire.
Beautiful.
And I think that if I'm not going to show people that, it's possible and I'm disciplined and I can do this,
Yes.
and if I'm not going to walk the talk, then what's the use?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So you're reminding me of a quotation by Muhammad Ali that says, I'd rather spend time suffering in training and spend the rest of my life as a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Are those some of the thoughts that go through your mind when you don't want to get up and go to training, when you don't want to eat right, there's the hot chocolate that's right in front of you. It's winter months, and I think Oral Roberts on Facebook Live asked about this question, your eating regimen. How do you stay disciplined when the temptation to just go off track is right there in front of you?
It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, carrot cake, chocolate cake, or broccoli. You
Yes,
take your pick. It's tough, but I mean, in the end of the day, like, you work so hard. Why mess it up with a little bit of temptation?
Yes.
I've worked my whole life with this. Why be tempted by silly things, So I think you just have to be strong-willed.
Sure.
And if you're strong-willed, you'll be okay. Also, I think you've got to realize that you're human,
Yes.
and you can't be that strict on yourself. You have to be consistent, but also flexible. Allow yourself 1 or 2 cheat days or a few cheat meals
Right.
every now and then, but it's just about planning.
Yes.
Know when you can have it, know when
Know
you
when you
can't
can't.
have it, when you shouldn't have it. So I think that's the important part. I know what weight I have to be in order to be on the track or to be race ready. So
Yes.
if I'm not going to do the things to get me down to that weight, then I'm not going to be able to run fast.
Everything that you say just comes from this place of laser-like focus. I get the impression that you know what you want to achieve, and you're not willing to let anything stop you from that, from achieving that goal. How do you cultivate these things? Do you spend time with coaches, mentors? Do you have a mental coach? I mean, the conversations you must engage in on a daily basis surely can't be around chocolate cakes, carrot cakes. Everybody in your circle has to be speaking the same language. There has to be a streamlined, focus and discipline and dedication. And I love what you were saying. It comes from this place of commitment. I feel like you're so committed to being who you are that you're just not willing to compromise at all.
Yeah, no, it sometimes comes off as a bit selfish, but that is what we have to do,
Wow.
But it is.
So you have to be selfish sometimes?
You have to be selfish sometimes.
To achieve what you want to achieve and not let anyone else impose on you?
No, definitely.
Sure.
You have to put yourself and your career first. I mean, I always tell people that, you go to your 8 to 5 job and you have deadlines to meet and you have meetings to attend. I don't have an 8 to 5 job. I've got a 24-hour job, and everything that I do is going to contribute to me succeeding or not succeeding. And it's tough, So sometimes I have to say no. I can't go to that event, or can't go to your party, or can't, go have pizza with you or whatever. And it comes across as selfish, but it's just that sacrifices that we have to make and that discipline we have to have. I mean, I'm lucky in my household. When I say, look, it's time to eat healthy, we eat healthy. So
everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. Mom, dad, sister. Wow. They don't put any temptations in the house for me. So they make it pretty easy.
In the shopping center, like when you go out shopping for, like speaking about food particularly, you win in the aisles when you're walking down the aisles, and if you just choose to buy the right stuff. I feel like that's where you win.
It's pretty simple. I think that if you give food the power to, rule your life or take over your life, then that's what it's gonna do.
Right.
Like anything, I feel like if you feel anything, if you feel fear, if you feel doubt, if you feel disbelief, if you feel whatever you feel, that's going to have power over you.
Whatever you give your attention to, whatever you give your focus to.
Yeah, I had to learn this as well eventually, And my sister was the person who taught me that you got to fuel your body correctly if you want optimum performance.
Beautiful.
And I mean, I learned it, and so now I'll give the correct food the power and the fuel instead of doing the
because you know
things.
What's important and you know what you want to achieve. I want to speak about coaching, because as you mentioned just a minute ago, everybody listening to us right now is not necessarily an athlete. They may work a full-time job doing whatever it is that they do, whether that be sales or customer care or operations or management or leadership or entrepreneurship, whatever it may be. But you, as a high-performance athlete, reaching the peaks of your industry, if you will, for lack of a better word, you've had to employ coaches throughout your life. You've had to employ these people that have expertise and knowledge about what you want to achieve. How important is having a coach in achieving your desires?
Extremely important. Like I said, you have a team that's behind you, and
you mentioned the support structure.
Yeah,
all the time.
And you're only as strong as your team. As an individual athlete, you might be out there competing alone and getting the victory alone, or getting the medal alone, or standing on the podium alone, but you're only as strong as your team and the people in your corner. And it's extremely important. And I think that for me especially, I've had quite a few coaches. I've come through the ranks with no one and myself. I've built a team, and I've been up and down as well. So I think that it plays a major role. You have to have trust that your coach wants the best for you, and that he will build and develop the best plan for you to achieve your goals, whether it's your coach, your bio, your physio, whoever might be in your team or in your corner, they have to work together to get you like a well-oiled machine. So when you get on that track, you don't break. You're ready for it, and you're ready for the season, and you can do anything you need to do to get to your PB and to get to your peak performance. So extremely important.
Would you have achieved anything that you have without a coach? Do you think you could have done? You could have achieved this on your own?
No, I couldn't have.
Is that a strong no, or is it a?
It's a no, because I believe I mean, I've had so many different coaches, but I believe, and everyone has played a role. Absolutely. But I think my ultimate coach probably has to be Christ.
Okay.
Because he, I mean, up and down, he's put the correct people in my life. He's brought me from injury, taken me back into track. He's blessed me with the talent. I feel like it's, without talent, hard work is not going to really get you there. So, and without hard work, talent also dies out. Absolutely. So, it's a marriage. It's a combination. Beautiful. So that has definitely been my first coach. From there, you can also have a coach, but if the athlete is not willing to do what the coach instructs them to do,
very, very true.
Then it's not going to happen either.
We take it for granted as athletes or people that work in the athletic space, that it's a no-brainer. You have to have a coach. But if you are in sales, or if you're in leadership, in management, whatever industry you find yourself in, even if you're a lawyer, medical doctor, whatever field you find yourself in, it's not a common practice to have a coach. And really what I'd like to inject into our community is this idea that when you collaborate with someone who has the technical knowledge that you don't have, or that has some sort of emotional intelligence, insight that you don't have, that adds value to your proposition. It doesn't diminish you in any way. There's nothing wrong with having a coach. If somebody of your caliber employs the services of a coach, or a biokineticist, or whoever, a nutritionist, whatever that person may bring to the table, why are we not employing the services of executive coaches, or life coaches, or health coaches, personal trainers, all these kind of consulting services that people bring into their life? There's not a strong culture out there, and I really love to inject this idea into the community that if high performance athletes are doing it, why are we not doing it? Hey? So that's for me the importance of coaching. Let's talk about your injury. I know you went through a time of injury, and for you listening, your injury may be a death of a family member. Your injury may be a relationship that didn't work out the way you saw it. It may be getting laid off from your job. It may be not securing the tender or the contract that you wanted to secure. Whatever your injury is, this next segment is for you. Talk us through how you got through the frustration, and I don't know if there was even a depression, you know, through this injury. But there was definitely a time when you couldn't achieve what you wanted to achieve, even though this burning desire was in your heart. Talk us through that.
Yeah, sure. It was a very, very tough time for me. It was like going from an extreme high to an extreme low. Like, really winning quickly. Races very quickly, just like that in one race. Winning races, doing really well. I remember 2009, I was at Mauritius Africa Junior Championships, 200 meter, I fell over the line, pulled my hamstring, and ever since that race, everything went downhill. Even though I placed in that race, got the gold, but after that I was just injured, and I just got injury after injury, and I started losing races, and I was so confused. I was like, you're not used to losing, or what is happening? You know, there came a point where I didn't even make finals, and I was like, Alyssa, what is going on? And I saw 15 to 20 different medical physicians, and everybody was just confused. Nobody could tell me what was wrong with me, what's happening with my body, and it was just a time of frustration, doubt, disbelief, depression, questions, everything that was just not being answered.
And for most people, and particularly athletes, an injury could be a career-ending moment, or a career-ending event. How did you push through those?
Look, it kept me out I went for operation eventually in 2011 and did rehabilitation, tried to race again in 2012. I was okay. Still didn't make finals. Hurt my knees, more injuries came across, and when I got back from my season in 2012, I was just like, I'm done, I'm finished.
So you hit rock bottom.
I hit rock bottom. I was like, this is done. Like, this is not gonna happen. That's me. I'm done.
But that was 6 years ago, and here you are. You're certainly not at rock bottom now. How did you get back?
2014, I was working with a lot of athletes, and the desire came back, and I was like, I'm on the wrong side. I need to be on that side. I'm the athlete. I was born and I was meant to be the athlete. And I just decided I'm going back and started looking for a coach. Eventually, after going through a few, found Morne Nagel, and he's my coach now at the moment. And my sister and I just made a pact that 2016 we're making Olympics. That's what we're doing. And we're going to put everything into this. And started training 2014 November. I trained right through 2015. And I started racing again in 2016, and I was just very confident, and I just went out there and did my best, and I managed to make it the Olympic team, managed to run season's best and personal bests, and that was my comeback.
So if I listen to your story, you're saying your experience with other athletes, your experience with the dream realized is what helped you flip the switch back on.
Yeah.
So for you listening today, you have to get in contact with somebody who has what you desire to have.
Definitely.
You have to get into contact with people who are achieving what you desire to achieve, because it is possible. If we continue, and this is just literally what I'm hearing from what you're saying today, is if we continue to surround ourselves with those people that are not making the mark, if we continue to surround ourselves with the negativity or the obstacle, if we continually have this obstacle in front of our mind, that's all we will reproduce in our life.
Exactly.
So how important then how important is your circle of influence? You then started just hanging around people who are winning races.
Yeah,
who are achieving
like-minded
great things.
people.
Like-minded
People who are ambitious.
Beautiful.
Who want to work hard no matter what you face in life.
Yes.
Who doesn't look at all the negatives and, doesn't look at a challenge as life-threatening, but
Yes.
rather as an opportunity to work harder and overcome it. Like even now, I'm in 27, 28. What are we in? 2018?
2018.
Sorry, I didn't even know today's Wednesday.
You've just been working so hard. You don't even know
I'm
what
in
year it is.
I'm in 2018, and again,
Beautiful.
faced with challenges.
Yes.
I don't think that we ever not going to be faced with challenges.
Absolutely.
But as hard as it is, and sometimes as doubtful as I am, it's okay to break down every now and then.
Yes.
But every morning I just wake up and I try and just get through it and push harder and just keep moving forward and stay positive.
I love this. We're wrapping up now, but I need you to speak to me about your philosophy around work ethic. What do you believe about work ethic?
Yeah, I believe it's very simple. Whatever you put in, you're going to get out.
Okay.
That is it. So if you're going to go into something half-heartedly, you're going to get half-hearted results.
Yeah.
If you're going to go into something 150%, that is the results that you're going to get. So if you wake up and you're already negative for the day, you're going to have a negative day.
Yes.
So, it's all about that first thought, that mental thoughts that's going
I
through
love
your
what you're
mind,
saying.
and you got to push through, and you never know how close you are to reaching that goal.
Yes.
So never give up.
You could be right there.
Could be right there.
Don't give up. Don't quit. Do you ever compare yourself to other athletes that are training? Do you ever compare the work that they're putting in? Let's say they're benching whatever. Do you think, okay, I better do twice as much so that I can be twice as fast, or half as fast? I have to do twice as much.
No. It's very scientific, because a lot of it is based on you and yourself, your weight, your power,
Yes.
what you're doing. But I won't say I'd never compare.
Okay.
But I would add, I admire, I watch, I seek advice, maybe, I observe, but I never compare. I learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're that person that goes into the engagement seeking to constantly benefit from
I feel like we learn every day, but we just
Yes.
have to be open-minded to listen and to learn.
Yes.
There's not one way that's correct.
Yes.
So every day you got to adjust.
Absolutely. And you're
Yeah.
flexible enough to say, hey, if that's working for you, I may implement it in my life.
Exactly.
And that's, I feel like, what we have to come to the table with. We have to come to the table with this open mind to be willing to implement the success principles that are working for successful people.
Definitely.
Otherwise, you're just going to reproduce more of what you have. Alyssa, thank you for coming into studio today, having
Thanks
this
for having
conversation
me.
with me. I really appreciate it. In closing, how do we get in touch with you? What are you doing? Where can we bump into you at Sandton City? Do you sign T-shirts? Where can we bump
None
into
of
you?
that.
How do we get hold of you?
So just in closing, you can get hold of me, Facebook, AC Speedstar, Alyssa Conley, anywhere. I am doing a lot of work for youngsters this year. Like I said, my purpose is to inspire, and there's a lot of youngsters out there that don't have the means or the resources or necessities to start training, but they've got the fire, they've got the fuel, they've got the passion. I just got a message this morning of 65 kids at a athletics club that shares footwear or runs barefoot or shares race gear, and that is where I want to infiltrate and where I want to help out. So I have a shoe drive running with Wonders Medical Sports Center. So anybody out there who has kids or yourselves that are not using your old shoes and it's still in a good condition, please bring them through. You can contact me, or I can collect anything, and we just want to help these kids achieve their dreams, achieve their goals. They're out there winning races, but they've got nothing, so if we just give them that little bit, it will motivate them and inspire them to just keep going.
It's so interesting. I gave you an opportunity to speak about yourself and you really use the time to say there's a need out there, people, and we can help. So I love your humility. I love how focused you are. I'm really grateful to have you here on the show, and I actually look forward to all your success in the future. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to brandlife.co.za. This was the Midweek Motivation here with Alyssa Conley, AC Speedstar on Instagram and Facebook. What's the burning desire in your heart? What's that dream you must achieve? Doesn't matter where you find yourself. You may be experiencing some sort of setback. Get into contact with people who have what you desire. Get into contact with the winners in your circle, because you can dream again. You can achieve everything that you desire to achieve. It is possible. My name is Keenan Paulson, author of the book called How to Win Before You Begin. This is the Midweek Motivation every week, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. here on brandlife.co.za.